Salud! This Sunday's second round of voting in the Moldovan presidential elections is being dubbed Russia's last chance to prevent Moldova from heading westwards politically, irrevocably, and ultimately joining the European Union. So it is a really crucial vote for Moldova on Sunday. It is the second round of voting. 10 days ago, there was the first round of voting where the incumbent pro-European Union candidate Maia Sandu came in first place, but did not reach the 50% threshold. Therefore, there will be a runoff between her and the second candidate in that first round. He is considered pro-Kremlin, Alexander Stoyanoglu, and he got over 20% of the vote, while Maia Sandu got over 40% of the vote. I'm actually not in Moldova today. I do have my Moldovan garb on, and I am a regular visitor to Chisinau in Moldova, so I can give you a little bit of an insight about what is likely to happen in the second round of voting. So even though Maia Sandu came first in that first round of voting, the pro-Kremlin candidates actually got the majority of votes in the first round. However, Maia Sandu and her government allege widespread voter irregularities favoring the pro-Russian candidates. And interestingly, the third place candidate in that first round, Renato Ushatsi, he has not endorsed Alexander Stoyanoglu, who is an ethnic Gagauz. By the way, Gagauz is a region in the south of Moldova that traditionally votes very pro-Russian. Ushatsi, who is a former mayor of Belz, another area of the country that historically in the elections since Moldovan independence in 1991 has voted quite often in favor of pro-Russian candidates as well. He has not endorsed him, so it is likely that Maia Sandu will ultimately prevail. By how much, it is not clear. Simultaneously, 10 days ago, there was a referendum to change the Moldovan constitution to enshrine with a clause that Moldova is on the path to European Union membership. That, interestingly, passed, but it only passed with an extremely narrow margin. It was dealt about 1 percentage point. It was around 50.5% of the electorate voted in favor of that EU referendum clause being introduced, while 49.5% roughly voted against. So the indicators are that it will be a very close and tight election. Maia Sandu, the incumbent, is probably still the marginal favorite to win, but we will see on Sunday evening and Monday morning. The election may possibly hang on the votes of the Moldovan diaspora that predominantly live in the European Union and vote overwhelmingly in favor of pro-EU candidates. And in fact, they were the difference between the referendum 10 days ago passing or failing. Why is this Russia's last chance to prevent that political move by Moldova towards European Union membership? Moldova and Russia do not share a border. There is the de facto pro-Russian separatist Republic of Transnistria and about 1,500 Russian soldiers based there, so that is on sovereign Moldovan territory. However, since they don't share a land border, it is actually quite difficult for Russia to regain control of Moldova. It is very different to the situation, say, in Georgia, which shares a land border, and Russia, through separatist proxies, manages to control about 20% of Georgia. It does control a small part through the Transnistrian separatist, de facto separatist republic, a little bit of Moldova, but it cannot reach it. It is non-contiguous with Russia, so Moscow is not able to, say, launch an invasion like they did with neighboring Ukraine. In fact, the fact that Ukrainian forces have stopped, Russian forces are stopped them, it's over 2 years ago, from reaching Transnistria, that sliver of territory in Moldova, and joining up with those pro-Russian forces, and the actual Russian soldiers are there, probably means that Russia's options are extremely limited for changing the leadership in Chisinau, the capital of Moldova, through violence. War is politics by other means, as the famous adage from Karl von Clausewitz, the famous Prussian military philosopher, goes. And that is not an option, so they are left with political options and basically assisting and promoting a pro-Russian candidate to come to the presidency in Moldova. Now, historically, there have often been, since independence, pro-Kremlin or Kremlin-friendly, Moscow-friendly presidents or prime ministers in Moldova. However, for the last few years, and obviously since the expanded invasion of Ukraine by Russia starting on February 24, 2022, Moldova has had a pro-EU parliament and a pro-EU president. So their options for political change are quite limited if they do not win this election on Sunday, or one of their candidates doesn't win on this Sunday. And after that, it will be quite difficult because there will be another 5 years of or 4 years of a Moldovan pro-EU Moldovan president. It will have been enshrined in the constitution that they are on the course towards EU membership, and they will not be able to change that policy politically. It is very important also for Ukraine that its neighbor to the west, Moldova, does not fall under a pro-Moscow presidency, because obviously Ukraine is engaged in an existential war against Russia, mainly in the south and the east. That is where a lot of the fighting has been. It is the biggest war in Europe since World War II, and they do not want, or it's not in Ukraine's interest, to suddenly have a pro-Moscow presidency in Moldova, which is a neighboring country, and may ultimately cause problems for Ukraine and defense of its country if they were to start introducing more pro-Moscow political policies. So this will be a very interesting runoff on Sunday. I plan to actually do a live stream when we have some of the results, so tune in for that and you'll get my live reaction to the results of the Moldovan presidential election. It may come down to the Moldovan diaspora. So those are the Moldovan citizens who are registered to vote, who were voting outside of Moldova, because their votes will be tabulated towards the end of the count, and they are expected to vote overwhelmingly in favor of the pro-European Union incumbent, Maia Sandu. So until Sunday evening or Monday morning for the live stream, la revedere. It should be a nail biter.